is something we need. It's a leap of faith. Oh, if you have the will and the moment to spare, it's a beautiful world out there. It's a beautiful world out there.
This walk starts at Mullion Cove on the Lizard. Mullion Harbour dates from the 1890s and is built like a fortress because the cove's position on the eastern shore of Mount Bay leaves it open to the most ferocious storms from the west and southwest. This western coast of the Lizard Peninsula was always known as the Wrecking Shore, especially back in the days of sail. The heathland of the Lizard Peninsula, near Mullion, may seem dull compared to the dramatic sea cliffs that define its edges. The only punctuation marks are the huge satellite dishes on the nearby Goonhilly tracking station and the lazily revolving blades of modern wind turbines. Yet, beneath the skin, this seemingly featureless landscape is botanically unique and exciting, not least because the lizard's calcareous soil is rich in magnesium and supports plants that are more often seen in chalk or limestone regions. The warming influence of the sea and the area's generally mild and frost-free climate encourages growth. The lizard's most famous plant is the Cornish heath, rare in Britain generally, but abundant on the Lizard. In full bloom, it contributes to a glorious mosaic of colour, its pink and white flowers matched by the brilliant yellow of western gorse and the deeper pinks of cross-leafed heather and bell heather. More common plants include spring squill, thrift and foxglove. Deeper into the heath are a variety of orchids, including a rare green-winged orchid with its purple-lipped flowers. Further along the headland is the location of the famous Poldhu wireless station, Marconi's transmitter for the first transatlantic radio signal. In 1899, the Royal Navy had purchased 3 radios from their ships, and several merchant ships followed suit. It was common belief that radio waves would travel around the Earth's curvature but could only travel in straight lines. Marconi was determined to disprove this. The station's 50-acre plot was bought in 1900, and construction work ran from October 1900 to January 1901. The original 20-mast, circular cone-shaped aerial was destroyed in a storm on the 17th of September 1901. For Marconi's experiments, a temporary installation of 2 200-foot masts with a fan-shaped aerial was used. Marconi and 2 assistants travelled to Newfoundland in December 1901, and on the 12th of December the prearranged signal of 3 dots, the letters S in Morse code, was heard by Marconi on Signal Hill at St John's, and history was made. Marconi had previously intended to transmit from Poldhu to Cape Cod, Massachusetts, but prior to the event both stations were damaged by storms, and Marconi relocated his North American destination to St John's. Experiments were carried out for several years to establish a regular telegram service with Glace Bay, Nova Scotia and Canada. But in 1906, a powerful low-frequency station was built near Clifden, County Galway, in the Connemara region in the west of Ireland, to communicate with a similar one at Glace Bay. Poldhu continued to communicate with deep-sea shipping using the call sign MPD, and also transmitted a regular nightly Morse code news bulletin using the call sign ZZ. This was used by liners to print daily newspapers, whose owners paid for the copyright. In 1910, Dr. Howley Harvey Cribben boarded the SS Montrose, bound for Quebec with his mistress, Ethel Leneve, having murdered his wife Cora in London. However, Inspector Dew of Scotland Yard contacted the captain via the newfangled radio, and taking a faster ship, the SS Laurentic, intercepted the couple on the St Lawrence River. In 1912, Marconi was given a free ticket to travel on the wonderful new ocean liner RMS Titanic, but was too busy at the time and ironically travelled on the RMS Lusitania. which was torpedoed off the old head of Kinsale on the 7th of May 1915. Although too many lives were lost when the Titanic sank on the 15th of April 1912, those saved had radio to thank, as the Marconi station at Chatham, Massachusetts was able to alert RMS Carpathia to pick up survivors. International law changed after this event. Radio watches were on hand 24 hours a day, and vessels had to carry enough lifeboats for all on board. The station was taken over by the Royal Navy during the First World War. After the war, Marconi used the site for his shortwave experiments, with transmissions by Charles Samuel Franklin to Marconi on the yacht Electra in the Cape Verde Islands in 1923 and near Beirut in 1924. The results of these experiments took the world by surprise and quickly resulted in the development of the beam wireless service for the British General Post Office. Poldhu continued to operate as a research station until 1933. The site was cleared in 1935 and 6 acres of clifftop were donated to the National Trust in 1937, with the remainder of the area added in 1960. A granite monument was erected in November 1937 by the Marconi Company, and a number of concrete foundations and earth structures also remain. On the centenary of the first transatlantic transmission, the Marconi Centre was opened close to the site, thanks to the combined efforts of the Poldhu Amateur Radio Club, the National Trust and Marconi plc.